Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都很难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niao Honglin with Tony Reed in the studio. Hi, Tony.
Hey, Honglin. It's a pleasure to be here as usual. To all of our listeners, I'm hoping that you take something away today.
Oh, totally. And I'm very glad to do the show with you as well. Not only because you're a very charming person, but also because you're super talented. You are this versatile, knowing a lot of things.
I try. I don't know
Great
that
talent.
much. And I'm sure to all of our listeners, when they hear me on the show, they're like, okay, how many more mistakes is this guy going to make today?
No, they're thinking, someone that we can learn together, and learn from, and take something away. We're very glad. I'm just, speak for them. And also, when it comes to your talent, you have many.
I try. Again.
You're a very artsy person, which makes me wonder, were you always like this? Like back in college even?
I loved art since I could remember, maybe 7 years old.
Wow.
I've always did a little bit of art. But I never joined any organizations or anything, unfortunately.
Really?
It's just kind of something that I did, as a hobby, and it kind of went into something else. But in addition to art, I was also into martial arts.
Ooh, right, that's true.
And that's something that I've been doing on and off most of my life. And that I feel like I'm still cultivating.
I know, because sometimes when it comes to our hobbies and when it comes to art, music, martial art, these are the things that we should do together with our friends, with people with the same hobby. You communicate with them and you guys can compare notes. And especially music, I feel like doing it with a friend is much more fun, and it inspires you to have new creation and new, work.
If you're lucky enough to have friends who have the same hobby, sometimes they don't. And there's a cap at how far you can go when you do something by yourself. If it's martial arts, you could train, but if you have no one to train with, then there's only so far you can go. So you have to join like a club of some sort.
Yes, and the word club you mentioned several times. I feel like the best translation would be 社团.
社团.
Yes, 社团 is kind of like an organization. So 社 is 社会, it's the society. 团 is a 团体. 团体 is like a group of people.
20 sounds like the number 20.
团体 is a group. So a group in the society. 社团. And I know club in itself can be also translated as 俱乐部. 俱乐部. That is literally a club with the venue, maybe the facility. For example, 拳击俱乐部, a boxing club, you would have the place for people to box.
Beat each other up, yeah.
And 足球俱乐部, a soccer club as well. But actually, we call 社团, especially in this scenario, that is in a university. In a university, you would have 学生社团, so student club.
Okay.
Students organization, students little group that they do things they all share an interest in.
Okay.
学生社团.
So for the boxing, we wouldn't say 拳击社团.
You can say 拳击社团.
Oh, okay.
So 社团 or 学生社团 is definitely one thing you should not miss in a university. And that is actually going to be the theme of today's Takeaway Chinese. For our dear listeners, if you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway. 好多学生社团在招新呢，你想加入哪个？
我想进书法社学习写毛笔字，你呢？
我想加入街舞社，可我是零基础，不知道是否可以加入。
一起去问问吧。
哇，好多学生社团在招新呢，你想加入哪个？
我想进书法社学习写毛笔字，你呢？
我想加入街舞社，可我是零基础，不知道是否可以加入。
一起去问问吧。
And that's the conversation. Quite straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. I love straightforward conversations.
I know.
Stuff that we can actually use.
We can actually use many of the sayings. For instance, the first sentence, 哇，好多学生社团在招新呢。
Nice acting there. That's wow. So many student clubs are now recruiting new members. All right. And so wow is obviously wow, right? And then
I feel like it's such an animated word. I don't hear individuals using it too much. But if you're in a venue shouting for the team that you're, rooting for in a competition, you can definitely using all these different kinds of words.
We don't say that in that context. Normally it's when we're expressing like amazement at something, whether genuinely or sarcastically.
All right.
好多, I think that means a lot or many.
Yes, 好多, really a lot.
And then 学生 is student. And then 社团, as you said earlier, I think this is club.
Yes.
And then 在, I think in this context, it's the present continuous.
Yes. You're doing really well, starting to recognize different meanings and different ways of using the same word. I'm very glad.
Because this 在 can also be a preposition too, right?
Yes.
And then 招新.
招新.
Oh, 招新. I think this is recruitment, right?
Yes. 招 carries the meaning of recruit, and 新 is new. So recruiting new blood, whether or not new students would like to join. 招新. It's definitely a very important, I would say, matter for any student club, because when you start joining student clubs, you need to organize activities for your club. You need to run errands, and you need to maybe sometimes there will be even something like a graduation report or graduation performance. If it's a music club, you like to, create your own little work before you leave the club. Maybe when you leave the college, leave the university. So these are all things you got to do in a club. And 招新, recruiting new students, is one of those things.
Okay.
Very important and very fun to do.
All right.
你想加入哪个?
This is which one do you want to join?
Yes.
So 你想, this is normally you want or you wish or you hope, right?
Perfect.
And then 加入 is the join.
Join.
Right.
Join in or participate. 加 means add. 入 means enter. So you add it, or you are added to it and you're entering it. So you're joining it.
Okay. And then 哪个? This is
which one?
Which, right, okay.
我想进书法社学习写毛笔字，你呢?
So this is, I want to join the calligraphy club and learn how to write with a brush. And then how about you?
Yes.
So 我想 is I want. 进书法社. So I think this 进, is this like near or in or?
It's also in or enter. It's the same meaning with 加入.
Oh, 进来.
进来, yes, come on in. So 进 somewhere means to enter somewhere.
Okay. 书法社, I think this is the calligraphy, right?
Calligraphy, 书 is to write down. We know 书 is book, but actually in ancient Chinese, the character 书 means to write. And 法 is the way or the mean of doing things. So 书法 literally is the way of writing. And 书法, calligraphy, the way of writing. 社 is short for 社团.
Okay.
It's the keyword we talked about. So
Right.
社团 club. So 书法社 is the calligraphy club.
Okay, so then we don't need to say 师团. We can just say 社.
Well, the thing is, if you combine 社 with the theme of the club, yes, you can just say 书法社 or 武术社 or 美术社. But in itself, if you want to suggest club, you have to say 社团 so people understand better. 书法社.
学习, this is normally study.
Study.
And then 写,
Right.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay. And then 毛笔, I think that's, is that brush?
It's brush pen, yes. Because 毛 occurs the meaning of fur or feather. 羽毛 is feather. So 毛 is the fur of animal. And actually the brush pen, traditional Chinese brush pen, are often made by, I feel like, wolf fur or sometimes goat fur.
Okay.
Or sometimes horse fur. It depends. So 毛笔 would be the brush pen. 笔 is pen, we know.
Okay. And then in 字, I think that's the...
字 is character.
Okay, character.
Yes. For those of you who are not familiar with the idea, actually nowadays Chinese people write down things with a pen, with a pencil. It's easy. You can write characters in really small size. It's convenient. But I have to say, especially in my opinion, they are not as fancy and beautiful as the big one we write in, ancient times with our brush pen. So when you're writing in brush pen, you need to use the brush pen and also the ink. And they can be as big as you can imagine and really, I feel like, as romantic and beautiful like paintings. So calligraphy is something major here in China. I remember when I was a kid, I learned calligraphy for a while, and back then we called it 硬笔书法 and 软笔书法. So 硬 is hard, 软 is soft. So 硬笔 is the hard pen. We are talking about the pen and pencil, the way we write in daily lives. And 软笔 软 is a soft pen, which is a brush pen. That's the 毛笔书法 calligraphy. So yeah, as a Chinese kid, I think many Chinese kids have the experience of learning 书法 or even 软笔书法, soft pen calligraphy.
Okay. And then lastly, it's Nina. So this is how about you?
How about you?
So ni, of course, is you, and then na is kind of like a question.
Yes. 我想加入街舞社，可我是零基础，不知道是否可以加入。
So that is, I want to join the street dance club, but I have no experience and I don't know if I can join. So 我想 is I want, 加入 is join.
Yes.
And then I think the 街舞 is street dance.
Street dance, 街道, that's street. And 舞跳舞 dance.
Okay.
街舞 street dance.
And then 社 here again is club.
Yes.
可 I think, is this another way of saying but?
Yes. What is another way of saying but?
Maybe 但 or
但是 perfect. 可是但是但可 all are right.
Okay. So 可我 so but I.
Uh-huh.
是 is this is?
Yes. So I am 我是
Okay. 零基础.
零基础
So 零 is this 0?
It's 0.
Okay. 基础 is experience.
基础 is more like basic or foundation.
Okay.
So we say 基础很好. So this kid,
Good foundation.
good foundation, has good basics. 基础. So 零基础 is basically saying I have 0 basic.
Can we just say 我没有基础?
You can say that. See, you know different ways of saying the same thing.
Okay.
You can totally say 我没有基础. That works perfectly.
Okay. 不知道, it looks like I don't know.
I don't know. Yes.
I think that's probably the first thing most of us will learn in Chinese. 是否?
是否
What does that mean?
It actually means whether or not. It's another version, or I feel like a more written version, more formal version of 是不是.
Okay. 我不知道是否可以加入. So 可以 is can, and then 加入 is join. So if we were to use the 是不是, how would we use that structure here?
You just change 是否 to 是不是. 不知道是不是可以加入. Totally the same.
可以加入. Okay.
Yeah, the thing is 是否 is, well, first and foremost, 2 syllable, so it's easier. And also 是否 is a bit more formal. You use it in, I would say, more written contests. For instance, you can say 你是否清楚这样做的后果? So, are you aware of the consequences of doing this? See, it's a very serious sentence. So you say 是否, yes or no. And also, if you're filling a form, normally you can see for a Chinese form, there are sometimes many questions. And you would have boxes. In front of the box, you can say 是, that means yes. 否 means no. So you can click yes or no. Formal ways of saying things.
There is that structure of 是不是, 看不看. So these are also verbs too. Can we also say 可以不可以?
You can say 可以不可以. Yeah, that works.
Okay, that works too.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we have 一起去问问吧.
So let's go and find out. So 一起, this is normally together. 去 is go. One, I think that's ask.
Ask. We already know the structure do, one, do. So 等一等, wait a second. 看一看, have a look. And 尝一尝, have a taste. And actually, this verb structure, so repeating the same character, which is a verb, is also a way of lightening the mood and suggest people to do this thing. So for the 等一等, you can also say 等等, wait a bit. For the 看一看, you can say 看看. For the 尝一尝, you can say 尝尝. Just make sure the second character is in light tone. You are basically okay.
So yeah, 一起 is together, 去 is go, one is ask.
Ask.
And then 吧 is normally like let's.
Yes, so let's have an ask. Let's ask people about whether or not we should join this club.
Okay.
That's the idea. So do you have any other questions?
No, I don't think so.
All right, let's give it a go. 哇，好多学生社团在招新呢，你想加入哪个？
我想进书法社，学习写毛笔字。你呢？
我想加入街舞社，可我是零基础，不知道是否可以加入。
一起去问问吧。
Great! You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Neil Honley, and Tony. We would love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. Coming up next, let's learn about different clubs in universities. Don't go away, so you will take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Neil Honlin, joined by Tony. So, Tony, I was wondering, when it comes to your music career or hobby, have you ever played with somebody else? Have you formed such club or joined any club?
For music?
Yeah, 你加入过任何音乐的社团吗？
还没有。
Oh, not really?
No, I've always had a personal interest in music, but I never excelled to the point where I played with others or joined a group or anything like that.
You should totally do that because I think you'll be great in the group, and also you would have a different experience in a 社团. Working or having fun as a team is quite different. How about your martial art group? 你的武术社呢?
How do you say I did or I have?
我加入过。
我加入了。
加入过。
过。
我加入了 suggests I joined it and I'm still in it. 我加入过 I joined it and I'm not in it anymore.
Oh, but if I'm still in one, then
you can say 我加入了。
我加入了。
You have a martial art group. Yes. What do you guys usually do?
Well, I've joined, I guess, several in my life, but currently I'm doing the Philippine wushu, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
Right. So, just combat training, reflex training. So it's
You
like
have a lot of training.
a lot of training.
So you have regular training time?
Several times a week to keep the reflexes fresh.
Ooh, that's the thing. When you join a club, actually, especially in universities, you would have a lot of things that you need to do. And first and foremost, you like to set a date for activities. We call it 活动时间.
活动时间.
Yeah, activity schedule. Like for you, your martial art club, you exercise and you train several times a week. It's the same thing for students joining in a certain club. They would have, I don't know, 1 or 2 activity time scheduled for them every week. So they can be in the club, do whatever they like to do, whatever that draw them to gather together and to, enjoy. So 活动时间, that's activity time. That's one thing
activity.
Yeah.
活动 is activity. And 时间 is time.
One thing very important for these different clubs. And maybe they arrange, like we mentioned a bit in the beginning of the conversation, they would arrange a 毕业表演.
毕业
表演.
表演.
Graduation performance.
Okay.
It's like graduating not only from the university but also from the club. So you join the club, you learn different things, and then you report to those who support you. And also, it's a performance. It's nice to show off what you have learned.
Yeah, and I would imagine sometimes with those student organizations or fraternities or sororities, you never really graduate. You are a part of that group forever.
Oh, yeah, I
way.
agree with that. I remember when I was in my university, I actually joined the school's broadcast station. So, yeah, I think it started from there already.
Okay.
That my love for broadcasting, for podcasting, for all these, for this area. And that's the little seed. And I'm happy to see now it is growing. Ah. It brings back memory, this show, these topics.
How do you say nostalgia?
怀念,怀旧.
怀旧.
怀旧and 怀念 both work. Nostalgia is like thinking about the past. So 怀念 is thinking about. And the past, 旧 is old.
Okay. Not
怀旧.
老.
老 works, but 怀旧 is the word.
Okay.
You use 怀旧. So if you're given a chance to talk to yourself back in the day when you start going into the university, do you have any suggestions to yourself?
That's a really good question. Because there were so many changes when I was in uni, so...
Right? Anything you want to say to the young university rookie Tony?
Just continue to... I don't think so. I think I was who I should have been.
Wow.
When I was at that age. I was working and going to school at the same time.
That's cool.
And I was still active. I had a weightlifting 健身社团.
That's cool.
Yeah, I used to work out and I was still a bit undecided on what I wanted to do. But I think that's normal.
And also that's the purpose of entering university, because I feel like the difference between university and high school or middle school is that you started to, in Chinese we say 半只脚踏入社会.
Oh, wow.
Half of your feet has been stepped into the society. It's just half of your feet, so you're still safe, you're still in the school area, yet you're, testing the water, you're trying out, you're figuring out whether or not you have adjust yourself well enough for the society. That is why we encourage university students to join different clubs, 参加学生社团, and also join 社会实践, that's society experience, having some experience in the society, trying to, do voluntary work, 做志愿工作，志愿者 that's volunteer, 志愿工作 voluntary work, because in university you would have much more time, much more free time that you can plan for yourself. Don't fill it with game playing.
Well, that's what everyone does. I mean, come on. All that
course-
time of studying,
of course
being
you
pushed
can.
by your parents, and then finally you have me time.
Of course you can play.
squander
I'm
it.
just saying don't squander it. Don't use it all up for just video games. Make friends. Do other activities, because playing in a club is also very, very happy and exciting. I remember in my broadcasting station, we did all these, I would say, make up work. We feel like we are broadcasting to the school. We did. We were broadcasting to the whole school to listen to, but we took it so seriously. It's funny thinking about it, but it was all very real to us.
Yeah, and it's a great way to meet people, and it's an introduction to the dating world too.
Oh, yes, sure. So my suggestion to college students, maybe not necessarily me at that time, but college students in general, is that this is your perfect opportunity to discover about the world, to discover also who you are, who you want to be. That is very, very important, because you are given the chance of the very valuable chance of making mistakes. During university time, you get to make mistakes. You can mess up the 毕业表演 graduation performance, and it's okay, and you can choose the wrong club for you. You feel like I'm not enjoying it, you can quit and find a new one. And you can find the wrong internship for you, and you don't like it, you can quit at any time. It's all okay. You still have time to make mistakes, and that is, in my opinion, the best gift of university.
Yes, I think mistakes are definitely something that we can make when we're younger, but we can also make mistakes later on in life too. Of course, it's a little bit harder since we have a little bit more.
The cost is a little bit higher.
But it's still okay. There's lots of people who have made mistakes later, but get up from it. And I think that's really the big thing, is getting up after you've fallen down and keep moving forward. That's what this is all about.
Oh, that's also true. That is a beautiful thing to say about life. Well, in that sense, I think the next best thing, on top of being able to make mistakes, is you get to try different hobbies. You get to join different clubs. I mean, for the 学生社团 student clubs, you don't necessarily have to be very experienced. 你不需要有基础. You can just join because you like to learn.
Right.
Where can you find such a hobby-driven class that you not have to pay for? You can just learn from others. It's really nice.
Yeah, it is.
Right? So there are so many different ones also here in China. We have, for example, recently one thing very popular is 汉服社.
汉服社. That sounds like the Han Chinese, like, traditional
clothing,
yeah.
Actually, Hanfu represents the traditional attire of the Han ethnic group here in China. The Hanfu society refers to a society, a social group, or a community of people who are interested in and passionate about promoting and reviving the wearing of Hanfu as a cultural practice. And actually, I've seen people on different social media platforms introducing Hanfu to people outside of China as well. So no matter which country you're from, you can actually try Hanfu and, try the Hanfu style or traditional Chinese style makeup and everything. It's quite interesting. I loved it.
I don't think I've seen anyone that was not Chinese.
I'm going to show you. They look good, really good.
Really?
I feel like Hanfu is the style that fits everyone. In my opinion.
Okay.
And of course, there's the traditional Chinese instrument club, 民乐团.
Okay.
There are a lot of interesting cultural, I would say, musical heritage in China. And by joining one, you can find the similarity as well as differences between traditional Chinese music instruments and the modern ones and also the Western ones.
I really like the pipa
really
and the erhu. I think
right?
they sound really distinct. for Chinese culture.
Yeah. And there's the 书法社 we talked about, of course. And 武术社 Tony really liked. That's the martial art one. And
Yes.
书法社 is the calligraphy one. And one thing in particular I personally like is 茶艺社.
Cha yi shi.
So 茶 is tea.
Yeah.
艺 is 艺术 art.
Okay.
So 茶艺 is the tea art
Tea art.
club.
and then 社团。
茶艺社. And or you can call it 茶文化社.
茶
文化, Cha is tea, 文化 is culture, so tea culture club. These club, in my opinion, is the perfect place for you to learn a little bit of something and also relax in the amazing smell of tea. And also you get to enjoy different types of tea.
Right.
You can also, sit there and soothe
And learn like the
yourself.
different techniques on how to prepare tea and how
That's
to
true.
wash it, how to clean it, and how it's supposed to be, the temperature of the water. I mean, there's an entire detailed instruction on how it was done traditionally.
And also enrich your hosting guest technique. Imagine when you grow up, you want to welcome a very important guest or a very close friend. Instead of just saying, oh, come on in, have some fruit. You see, let's start a tea ceremony. I'll, treat you with this nice tea and all the culture behind it. And wow, I should have joined such club.
Yeah, that was something. I got to experience a tea ceremony, but it would be even better to know how to hold one.
Yeah, so if you're a expat student here in China, there are a lot of different clubs for you to join. Just pick the one, 参加他们的招新, join their recruiting process and be a member of the club. And that is how you make a further step in exploring China.
Sounds really good.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Yo Honglin with Tony here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there.
And you can find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and much more. Just search for Takeaway Chinese, and don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and ratings.
感谢收听，我们下次再见。
再见。